Welcome to Dragonfly Trading, guys. If you could do me a favor, when you're requesting a coin, if you could put the letters in for me, that would be very helpful. I'm going to type it here also. Please type the letters out for the coin, and if you have a certain exchange. Say hello. Tell me where you're from. That would be nice. Audio higher. 1 second. Let me see if I can adjust it here. Testing, testing, testing. Let me know if this gets better. Testing, testing, testing. Let me know if that helps, okay? I definitely need to get a new mic for sure. Let me know if this sounds better. Awesome. All right, so I guess I will talk a little bit about Bitcoin. And if you have a request, please put the letters in for me so I'm not hunting it down. That'd be nice. Yeah, if I make it any higher, it's going to distort. I'm on a mad hunt for a good mic. It won't be long and won't have this headset anymore. So far, so good with the stream. That's nice. All right, we're just going to give it a few minutes. Let everybody come in that's going to come, and we'll get started here. If you have a request, please put the letters in for me so I'm not hunting them down. Okay. Thank you, Modern Picasso. Nice to see you. 324, Con. I know I might murder some of your names. I'm sorry. Edwin, HG, Cloud. Thank you guys for coming in. All right. So let's talk about Bitcoin here for a minute because it's pretty much king, queen, whatever you want to call it. And if you've been tuning into my channels or my videos, you know that I'm partial to this being a complex correction to the downside. Okay. Basically, we have this correction here. And now we have this correction here. And the only thing that we can call those, now some would call this a 2 and a 4, okay? But the count just doesn't really support that. Of course, you could squeeze that in there, and it really wouldn't be much different than what I'm thinking, okay? The only difference would be the count. Because if this was 4 and you're expecting more downside for a 5, it's still going to do something like that. Versus what I'm thinking that these are X waves. Okay? And that we're going to do something of a 3-wave move here that could get down to 12K. Now, what usually happens when everybody's expecting a certain level? Well, it usually rips right through that level and doesn't even stop, or it doesn't get to that level. Okay. So could that happen? Sure. We have this little tiny bit of support here. We have this little tiny bit of support here. And it could stop at one of those levels, never hit 12K, and reverse. Because for this to be a Z wave here, it doesn't have to come all the way down here. All it has to do is break this low. That's it. Just break the low, and we can call it, with a 3-wave move, and we can call it Z. Now, if you notice up in these corrections here, they're made up of 3 corrective patterns, okay, where we had a leg, a connector, and then a partner leg. Here was the middle connector that was connecting these 2 legs. So each one of these patterns had a 3-wave move inside of it. So that means right here, let me get a little lower so you can see, we're going to have to create a 3-wave move here. So if this here is connected together, and this is the connector, we're going to need a partner leg now to the downside. And at that point, we could reverse. Now, will we reverse and go back on a bull run? Well, nobody knows that for sure. No one. But what we do know is that if we do roll over here and all we have to do is break the low, we're going to have this downwards motion in price and this upwards motion in RSI, and that is huge, up on a weekly time frame. And then it's on every single time frame all the way down. A weekly time frame is going to turn this market. If it doesn't, I will be completely shocked. At least turn the market for a rally that would get us back up to 40K or even higher. What it would mean? Well, it would mean that all of this turns into the first leg, unfortunately. Then we get the rally, which becomes the connector. And then we need this leg over here as a partner leg. It can even do what this middle leg did, okay, and break the high. So roll over, big rally that even breaks the high, and then we get this leg. Okay? And we create this big, and we never come back to these levels. We create a higher low here, and this is a very bullish correction, even though it took so long. Okay? That would be a crazy bullish 1 and 2 here. The wave that would precede this, the bull run that would precede this, would be the biggest we've ever seen. It would be bigger than the 2015 bull run. Okay. That's something I know I'm very much looking forward to. Thank you, Crypto Rocker. Mohammed, that was so unnecessary. You did not have to do that, but I sure do appreciate it. I will definitely get to whatever you've requested first, okay? You're first. Thank you so much. All right. So when we look also, let me go to the BLX here because then it'll show us the entire history. Let's go out to the 2-week here. Let's take these levels off. That's some old thing I was doing there. Now, we can debate and debate and debate and debate and debate and debate what this count is. But I've talked about this before in other lives, in other videos, okay? What we do know as facts, okay, not just guessing, what we do know as facts is that there's only two things in Elliott Wave that they allow for overlaps. And it's an excuse me. It's a nest of ones and twos where the biggest 1 and 2 is the biggest, okay? Your next 1 and 2 is smaller and finds support on top of the first. And then your next 1, 2, even if you're able to see it, a lot of times you can't even see it. But in this case, of course, you'll be able to see it because we're up on such a high time frame. It finds support on top of the second. And it looks like a lot of times you mistake it for a leading contracting diagonal. And it's really a nest. So a nest of 1s and 2s, we allow overlap. Okay? Which means you could have a 1 and a 2 here, a 1 and a 2 here, and then a 1 and a 2 here, and it would allow this price action, because it's already overlapped it, that's just fine. It's allowed to overlap it and come into it. Okay? Now I'm kind of building up to something here. Some of you, I'm sure, have already heard this before. And then the other structure that's allowed to overlap is when you're having an impulse wave. And you have a third wave. Okay? This is the 5 waves inside of a third. And then you have your main 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? This 4 of higher degree will come into, but not break, this 4. This is where overlapping is allowed. And if you have more than another 1 and 2 down here for a nest, you'll get another overlapping wave here. So what else could be happening up here? It could be overlapping 3 and 4, where this is a third wave, this is a fourth, this is another third, and this is a fourth of higher degree. And we would expect this correction to be bigger than this one because it's a higher degree fourth. It's a bigger degree. Now, with that all said, that's the only things that are allowed to overlap like this. So on log scale, it's hard to tell what this is. Okay. Chris. Also, doesn't this 1-2 higher time frame chart become invalidated after October? Yeah. So you don't want, like, if this is 1 and 2, you don't want this one good. What am I trying to say? Very good, Chris, to bring this up. Another one is you don't want this 2 to be longer in time than this 2. Doesn't make sense. Because this 2 is of higher degree than this 2. Okay? So the chances of it being 1s and 2s are slim. And then here's the big thing that I'm building up to, okay? Let's go on linear. Makes a huge difference here of what are we looking at? Because when we're on log, it's taking all of this price action right here and squishing it. Okay? This leg is significantly smaller than this leg. This is a gigantic leg, but it doesn't look like it because log scale is squishing it. Now, when I look at it this way, it is completely clear what's going on. This is a big wave compared to this wave. This, to me, looks like 1 and 2. This looks like lower degree 1 and 2. This is a 3 and a 4 that goes with this 1 and 2, which would lead into the third wave that goes with this one. This fourth wave found support right in the prior fourth wave, exactly what it's supposed to do. Perfect, beautiful. And then it pushes up for a fifth wave. So what would we be doing right here? all of this mess since the beginning of time that it started is a wave 1. This is a wave 2. When we look at it on linear scale, okay? So, which one is it? Well, nobody can say that they know. But my bias is that it's a done deal, okay, that it's completed a cycle, and that this could be a wave 2. So what does that mean, guys? That means that we could come significantly deep, because if that is the case, we are correcting this entire structure. Nobody wants to hear that. It's scary. But that could be happening. Look at the, when you look at SPX here, okay, back to the beginning of time. Okay, this is Bitcoin, right? This stuff here probably. Look at the crash it had. This is a 1, and this is a 2. And then look at, when I talk about the third wave to come, that's what I'm talking about. This. So, with anything that you look at, it has to eventually end its cycle of an entire 5-wave move, and then it has to correct it. It cannot get around that. If we don't do it now, then we're going to do it later. And I'd rather do it now and never have to come back to primary 2. Okay? And the reason why I'm, really think that this is a done deal, let's take a look at ETH. Okay? Even if we stay on log scale for ETH, okay? It's pretty easy to say that this, what is this, Coinbase? Hold on, let me find a better one. ETH is clear to me, anyway. There we go. I think that this was a complete cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that ETH is doing the same exact thing. Okay. Now, I could be wrong, guys. Don't take, this as a complete grain of salt. This is what it is. Because, like I said, no one knows for sure. Okay? No one. And we won't know for sure until we break this low here. If we break this low, then we will know for sure that we're correcting the whole thing. But or this low here, until that happens, there's no confirming it. Okay. So right now, it's all about what is this doing? This sideways action. Okay. Are we going to get a rally here before we come take out this low? Or are we just going to take out the low a little bit and rally? Is it going to be a bottom? Okay. So the two things we need to look at here is this option right here. And I'm going to make it really simple, okay? Really, really simple. If we roll over, okay, we've got to hold 16,000 area. We absolutely, absolutely can't come under this green box because there's nothing underneath there to hold it. This is called the expanded B pocket, and you're allowed to come as close to the 1.618 as you can get. You just can't break it. But if we lose 16,000, which is significantly higher, it's just on the first extension here, I don't think it's going to hold. So 16,000 in my book's the mark. So if we come on down and we hold 16,000, this can create an A, a B, and it's an expanded B. And then just like back in the day, sorry guys. Back in the day when we did this flat right here, it's going to be the same exact thing. Where we were hanging out in fourth wave territory, okay, this had come down significantly. Everybody was thinking we were bottoming here. We got 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves to the downside that just swept the lows, and then here comes this Darth Maul straight up 90-degree candle. That can happen here. It's setting up the same exact way. Okay? And that's what it would be, this candle that it can rip through 30. It can go all the way, okay, to 41,800. That's how high it can go. That's a candle, unbelievable candle if it happens. Now that is an expanded flat. It can also give us this choppy leg here that went back and forth over here. Up to, it could get up to 30K too. Okay, like this. Or it could get stuck on this resistance and then roll over. Now, could this be a Z wave with just breaking the low? Making WXY here and it's Z? Yes, it can. And that's why when this breaks the low, everyone needs to be watching to what happens here, because we're going to have weekly reversal divergence when this comes down. And this can be Z. It can be done and ready for a huge rally or turn the market. Okay. All right. So real quick here, just almost done. This leg right here, if it is the start of something, 5-wave move, it means we cannot break this high. When this is done, it will pull back. It may even bonk its head on this channel. So roll over, bonk its head on the channel. And then it's going to head down to potentially break that low. Okay. That's if this is the start of something and all we did here was a WXY. If it's the end of something, it means 3 more waves probably to the top of the channel, and then it's going to head down. There is no way to make this structure bullish from this low. Can't make a diagonal. It's corrective. So it has to roll over eventually to reset itself to be able to go bullish. Okay? All right. If you have any questions about that whole thing, please ask and I will answer it. All right, Mohammed, where is your request? I hope you requested something. You didn't? Oh, it's right in the thing. Okay. Sorry. All right, let's see. Let me go to this one. AER. I've never even heard of this. There it is. All right. All right. All right, regardless, this looks like 5 to me right here. But even if it isn't 5, all of this sideways stuff here is a connector for it. So when this correction is done, and I'll go into that in a second, whether this is 5 or even if it's not 5, then partner leg is going to come over here. It's going to give it a partner. And more than likely, that looks like 5 to me. It was choppy, wicky, but here's the, this is a B wave. So it doesn't matter that this little third and fourth came into it because it's a B. And it's got the waves separated from each other, so it looks like 5 to me. So it's all about this correction now. So the first move here, to me, looks like this was the connector here, okay? This leg was connected to this leg. So the question now is what is all this? All right. So it looks like this was A, B, C spiked up into the air here. Let's see. Then it looks like in the middle here, we have this is connector, okay? I know this is kind of difficult. All right, so this leg here still needs a partner because it can't be this pump because this is a complete impulsive dump and it has to have a partner, and here's the partner, which may not be completely done, okay? So you can clearly see that it's holding support there. And I'll get down on the lower time frame, but you want to hold that. And then this leg still needs a partner to the upside, which could lead to a pretty significant rally. Yeah, this leg here does not have a partner, which suggests it needs a partner. And then, unfortunately, what it's going to have to do, and that's this partner leg only has to hit the 618. Okay, doesn't have to go way high. It just has to hit the 618. And then after that, it's going to have to come to the downside and reset itself. But it can reset itself in a higher low. Keep that in mind. It doesn't have to break the bottom to reset itself. And then it can give this leg a partner over here. I hope that makes sense. So this leg is connected to this leg. That could be done, and really it needs to be done because you won't want to lose this area because look at this huge insufficiency right here. If it loses that support, it's going to drop to here. It needs a move to the upside to give this leg a partner. All it has to do is hit the 618 and then reset itself. Then it can turn bullish. Okay? And it needs to do all of that and stay above here. Otherwise, there's no doubt about it, it's going to drop to here. But all that means is that this is a 1 and then this would be 2 if it did drop to there. I hope that gave you a clear analysis. It's on the high time frames, it's doing very well with holding the bullish range. So that is what you want it to do. Stay above 40, especially the daily here. You want the daily to stay above 40. All right, I hope that helped. Let me go back to the beginning here. I'm just checking my stream, making sure nothing's going wrong with it. All right, where's the first request? All right, SLP. A lot of these altcoins, excuse me, look so ready to pop. See how this is going, how they go in this downwards motion here? Okay, and then they start trucking sideways. That's a bottoming pattern when it does this. Okay, that is something that you really want to see. Okay, so it looks like this middle is a connector, pretty much. All of these to the downside are all the same scenario, okay? We're asking ourselves, is this going to be another X wave here? And is it rolling over? I would say yes, but on all of them pretty much. There's a few that are different. But the only difference is, and we're asking ourselves, are we going to get a rally that brings the X wave higher? Okay. That's what we're all wondering about most of these, okay? And when we take a look at this one, it hasn't broke the low. And this one can be a leading diagonal, which is good, because that means it could be a wave 1. Now, more than likely, it's an A wave of a zigzag. With both of these, absolutely cannot break this low. That is the invalidation point. 1 cent underneath that, it's invalid. If it can hold above it, then we're going to get a rally that could get all the way back up here if it wanted to. Okay. Now, if we just three-way rally ABC, then this is going to be X, and it's going to roll over again to create that Z wave. If it's a 1, well, we know what that means. Then this is 2. It's going to give us a 3, 4, 5, and what starts with 5 ends with 5, which means it's going to get a big rally or it's turning bullishly. More than likely, though, it's an A. Okay. All right. So ETH is the same as Bitcoin. Okay. Same exact thing, that we are looking at it as potentially WXYXZ. Okay. Or ETH is just going to create just WXY, and this is a 5-wave move. And that when Bitcoin's dumps and breaks its low to create that Z wave, ETH may not break its low and just, dump some more. So the bullish scenario here is this wave 1 to the upside. Cannot break the low. It would pull back for 2, probably this, 786. If it gets under the 786, it's going to break this last little bit of support it has. This area right here, ETH has got to stay above that. So one more rollover really is all it has for a wave 2. And then it needs to go if it's going to go bullish. And really, we know that it all depends on Bitcoin. Okay. So that's the bull scenario, the mega bull scenario. Now, if Bitcoin does the flat that we talked about, then this can be A, B, C, and it gets it up for a higher X or B. X probably, and then Z comes. Okay. And then the last scenario is that we don't get a rally at all. Bitcoin doesn't rally, ETH doesn't rally, and it just goes bearish, rolls over, comes down for the Z, breaking this low. So it seems like there's a lot of scenarios, but really there's not. Okay, there's only one, this scenario of the bullish impulse wave. I have to show that because it is on the table, But guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be just a rally if it happens. Okay, because Bitcoin can't do this. It can't go bullishly like that. So the chances of ETH doing it without Bitcoin are very slim. So this structure is just a little bit, different. Okay. And that if Bitcoin, say, heads down in a A, B, C to dump down for the Z, ETH can potentially not break this low. But it's going to follow Bitcoin. Okay. Basically, this can be zigzag. And then not break that low, and then it gives us a big A, B, C more than likely. And this is a rally. Okay. Bear market rally, basically. And then on the very low time frames, it's the same thing as Bitcoin. Can't break this high. If this is going to be the start of something of a 5-wave move, roll over, pull back to resistance here, and then it's going to head down. If it's the end of something, it's the same as Bitcoin, that it's going to try to create 3 waves more and probably try to get up to there. But it will be W, X, Y, or A, B, C. Now, take a look. We have this resistance now that it's struggling to not drop off and lose. So if it rolls over again, it has to hold these wicks if it's going to try and recover. Otherwise, more than likely, it's the bear scenario, not to sound bearish, where it rolls over and then it bonks its head here, heads down. Okay, invalidation for bears right there. And then the DXY, I think, is a ending diagonal. Okay, the reason I feel that way is because when we were right here, I'm like, this is climbing correctively. Then it pulled back, and then again it had this big correction in the middle of 2 equal legs. Big correction in the middle of 2 equal legs. Okay, these aren't impulses. So I think right now that we're making a correction in the middle of 2 equal legs. When we get up here, I think it's highly likely that this is the top of a third. This is going to allow the rally in cryptocurrencies, this pullback. Okay? This is going to be a 4 and a 5. Now, this 1 and 2 down here, we don't have the 4th wave for it yet. It's not this one, it's not that, it's not any of those, because when you pull time and you drag it to this one, the top, say that's the top of a third, this right here is minimum requirement that a wave 4 should hit to go with this 2. That dump didn't come anywhere near this. And this is the least amount of time that it can take. And then if you drag it up here, look, we're nowhere near it. So if we drag it up to the tippity top, say we just estimate that it's going to be there, we're looking at a 4 minimum that's going to take it into April 6th. So this is going to dump minimally until, February 27th is the absolute minimum. And really it needs to come in between here. Okay? So that's my bias. That's what I think is going on. Otherwise, if it's not an ending diagonal, then I'm still leaning the same way, that we're going to go up for another wave and then correct for a 4th, even if it's not an ending diagonal. Because we're making multiple bearish divergences at the top here. Okay. What'll happen here is this will push up again. Okay. And then this first wave that pulls back will create, this will be a big reset right here for a fourth. And it's going to create bullish continuous divergence like this. Then, you know, pushes to the upside. Hope that is what you wanted to see, Edwin. All right, next is NIM. Is this all the data? Looks like it. All right. So what this means, because it broke the low, it means that when this coin turns back bullish, that it starts from here. This stuff back here is just finding its fair value price because it broke the low. So we can't say that this is a 1 and a 2 anymore. Okay. So when it goes back bullish, it starts from here. So none of this really, well, it does matter because this could be part of it. So it still looks like 3, 3. So WX, Y, potentially X, Z. Same count to me. And then all of these spikes up into the air here, that is, this whole thing is a corrective move. Okay, so I would say that that's 3 waves. I would say that it's working on 3 waves. And then it's going to have to give 3 or 5 over here. An alternative is that this is 3. This is the connector. See, this is 3. So it's the same thing. Same thing. It's still, this leg here needs a partner to the upside before it can head to the downside again. And it's going to do that because it needs to reset itself again, break the low before it can turn bullish. It needs to put in that Z. Okay. Now let me say one thing why it's on my mind here. We're talking about the Z wave here. Okay, so we're talking about us making 3, sweeping the low, and putting in a Z. All right. If we don't go back to a bull run and we make a significant rally here, all of this wave is going to turn into an A wave or a W wave. Depending on how high this gets will determine whether it's an X or B. In my system, this has to hit the 618 to be a B wave. And then this entire structure here is going to get a partner leg. I'm sure some of you have seen me go over how a bear market happens, so I'm not going to do it here in this live stream. But I just wanted to emphasize, you know, we're all hoping that we're going to go back on that bull run. But it could, you know, be a bear market rally, and we could be in a, you know, a bear market for another 2 years. I'm hoping not, but it could happen. All right. So it was in this downtrend. Okay. It got this V-shaped recovery here. That's what you always want to see. This would be the order block that you would want to see broken to confirm that you are potentially bullish. Okay. And as you can see, it's broken it, and now it's coming back to it to try to find support. All right, so right here, this here looks like either a fourth wave or a B wave. I'm leaning B, and that it's going to do this, and this will end up being a 1 or an A wave, and this will be a 2 or a B wave. Okay, it really needs to hold this support. And then it's obviously what it's going to do here. It's going to at least give this leg a partner to the upside. Okay. This is a very nice recovery here. So if you're looking to trade this stock and it's not something that you're holding, to me, it looks like down until, it hits here. I really think that's where it's going. And then that's when it's going to try to recover. And then the place you need to get through is this order block here. So when it comes down, this will be the first order block to get through. You want to flip this to support with a V-shaped recovery. And then this wave needs to flip this to support next. And then it'll go. Okay. Stop. We go right underneath that order block. Not financial advice, of course. So I hope that was helpful. It's obvious that's an impulse wave, right? All right, so Sheep did a good job of bouncing off this support it has here. So far, it didn't break its low, so I would say this is a 1 and a 2 so far, okay? But what do we got here? We've got a correction in between two equal legs. Let's get a little closer and take a closer look. Yep. This is a three-wave move, unfortunately. It's making 3 back. If it doesn't hold this support right here, it's going to fall to here. And it's either going to get 3 or 5 over here. Probably back up to here is what it's going to try and do. So Sheep's really, okay, so this is what Sheep needs to do to save itself. This leg here, the partner that it should get for this leg, it can even break this low for an expanded B, which would even be better for it really, but it doesn't have to. Because then that means this partner leg can go even higher. It needs to get as high as it can here. Because what this means is it's at least getting this leg as a partner over here. And when it gets it, it needs to make a higher low. So let me summarize that up a little bit here. So it's going to do something like this. Maybe this doesn't break the low, say it comes to here. This needs to go high, at least to this order block here. From here up, look, is all insufficiency. Look, there's nothing there to stop it. Even this, that's why it wicked up so high. That's why this candle just went crazy, because there's nothing there. So this needs to come all the way up to here so that it's either the whole entire thing or it's from here. When it gives the partner, it makes a higher low. And from this point, it can go back on the bull run. And then you would say 1, 2. Now, if it doesn't do that, and say that it makes this connector here, and then this partner leg comes and it breaks the low, this low here, all that means is that when this returns to bullishness on a bull run, then you would count from here. That's all it means. Okay? And hopefully it won't break the bottom. Because this was a beautiful impulse wave. Like, that's picture perfect of what they look like. So for it to break the bottom would be a shame, I would think. FIL. All right, so looks like we've got an impulse wave here. So we're looking at 1 and 2. Across the market, most of these alts we're looking at 1s and 2s, okay? It looks complex, the same thing. You can see the support it's trying to hold here. All right, so this can be an impulse wave. It really looks like 3 to me, but it could be an impulse wave. So more than likely, because of the way Bitcoin is, I would say that this is going to be an A wave. It's pulling back for a B. All right, so 3, that it could break this low, sweep the low just like Bitcoin may do, and then it needs a big rally back up to this area. Okay, that would be the bullish option. Okay. The bearish option is that this is making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what does that mean? That means that it'll pull back, and then this one will get a partner, breaking the lows, and hopefully that will be just a 3-wave move for a Z wave. Because again, a lot of these alts are running the risk of breaking their all-time lows. And I'm no expert on what's going to happen if they do, but it could weed a lot of them out, I would say. I mean, I don't know if they would just completely disappear, like, what was that one? You guys know what I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of it now. So, yeah. You can clearly see if it loses this level that it's going to drop at least down to the top of here. So it really needs to hold it and not take the low. And a good rally would do it really good. All right, what else we got here? It's got to have more data than that, right? There we go. So this coin looks great. See how high up it is? But look at this. Look what happens if it loses this low. This is nothingness, insufficiency. If it loses that level, it's going to drop down. It's got to stay above it. So how would it do it? Well, it needs a rally. So this leg, if this rolls over, it needs to hold. It needs a partner where it makes this middle connector. And then when it gives this leg a partner, it makes a higher low. Okay. Let's get in a little closer here. When was this? Oh, okay. All right, so November 9th. All right. So this, let's get in a little closer. Ooh. All right, so this is the sideways action that we're in right now in Bitcoin. I can't make a diagonal out of that because of this spike right here. But if we ignored the spike, it could potentially be a diagonal, which means a wave more than likely. And same thing, you know. This looks like connector here. This leg looks like it's getting a partner. It can sweep the low, just sweep it, and then rally. But unfortunately, you know, it could get back up to here, or it's going to bonk its head here. Either way, whichever one it goes to, then it's going to roll over. And it's the same thing. Can it hold here, okay, for a Z? But this coin looks good. If this coin can hold here, it's beautiful. But losing that level would be devastating to it because it's definitely going to drop all the way down. But it still would be a 1 and a 2 if it stays above this low. And think about what would come after that. As soon as it turned, it ripped right through this insufficiency again. Okay. All right, what's next here? Crypto Rocker, if you're here, I don't never want to come back to these levels either. Chris, if you're still here, I'm leaning that it's going to be the Z wave. The only thing I don't have a bias on, well, I kind of do. Okay, so I think after the Z wave that it's going to give us a rally. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just like an intuition thing. Of course, it doesn't have to be right. But I guess it's just, is the markets ready to go back on a bull run with the way that everything is? You know, with the world and the economy and inflation, you know? But another thing is this, you know, is very close to being done, because how long can it really stay? Well, I guess, you know, see, so this rise is completely different than this one. This one was kind of a slow grind upwards, where this is just, you know, straight up in the air, like this leg. So we're at the same, not quite, but almost the same level that it was here before it really corrected. So I really think we're going to come down, which is going to allow Bitcoin roll over Z. Then when that corrects, it's going to allow for a huge bear market rally. Okay, when this fourth happens. And then when this pushes up for its final fifth, that's when we'll get this partner leg, and it could potentially make a higher low. Even if this gets up high, then this leg over here will create that higher low. This is really how I'm leaning, because all these corrections that we had before were ABCs, all of them. We're due for a flat. So that's my bias. Is it correct? Well, I don't know, but that's the bias. And then I think I answered your second question. QNT. Let me just make sure that's... All right. So it was in this downtrend. So what really matters is what happened from this bounce. All right. This was diagonal here. 1 and 2. 3, 4, 5. So this right here is a 5-wave move. Okay. So the big question here is it making zigzag, where this is the middle connector between two 5-wave moves that creates zigzag? And then this ends up being X or B here, okay? Then it gets this leg over here. And in this case, it really looks like if Bitcoin just comes down for that Z, this will hold a higher low here for Y. So it's all corrective land. All right, so if this is not going to be a zigzag and it's actually 1, 2, all of that's 3, 4, and it's making a 5, you're still looking for the exact same thing. You want to see a pullback that holds right in here. Because getting underneath that, you're running into insufficiency all the way down to here. This is all insufficiency, so it would drop to there. So say that it's, okay, so if it's 5, what starts with 5 ends with 5. So this would be AB and then a big C wave, or it's bullish and it's a 1 and a 2. Okay, so that's the bullish options, A, B, C, or 1, 2, big 3, 4, 5. But even if it's the corrective option, and this is an X wave, and you're expecting a partner leg for this back here, what are you looking for? You're still looking for connector wave that pulls back, and you want to make a higher low. So it doesn't matter what this count is. Okay? You want to stay above this area when this pulls back. You have this V-shaped recovery where this is what you wanted to get over and flip to support, and it's doing that. It flipped this to support. This is the perfect look. Now you want this leg to not break its low would be ideal. You want it to pull back and then keep going. So it's obvious if you were going to trade it where your stop would go. So when we are Elliott Wave traders, okay, we get way too hung up on counts sometimes. We get too hung up on what is the right count? Do I have the right count? That honestly is not the most important thing. Price action is. Price action and what is RSI telling you? Okay. Well, this RSI is telling me that there's no bearish divergence here. That's bullish. So when this pulls back, okay, we want it to pull back correctively, and we want it to hold bullish support. That would be beautiful. Stop underneath the order block. Okay. This is a nice coin here. So it doesn't matter whether it's going to end up being WXY or it's going to end up bullish. Either way, you want to see this pull back and hold this area. Whether it's giving this leg a partner when it does it or it's pulling back for wave 2 for that, doesn't matter. Hope that made sense. Oh, what I do. Okay, 2 people asked for Q&T, so that's done. All right, so Modern Picasso, hopefully you're still here. M-A-R-A. All right. One second, guys. 1 second. I'm going to have to mute you. Sorry about that. Okay. This, to me, looks like an impulse wave. Okay, so what starts with 5 ends with 5. So you would be looking for at least a partner leg for it, or for it to turn back bullish, okay? So we've got a 3-wave move here. Now the question is, what is this doing? Okay. And that looks like a 5-wave move. So invalidation right now is this low. This looks like a connector right here. And this leg's getting a partner. Here's the order block you want it to hold. And what starts with 5 ends with 5. So this could be A, B, and C. That would be the bearish option where it just gives you a C wave. Which would mean 3, 3, and then it would need this leg over here. But you still would be coming down for a 2 because this is an impulse wave. So this would end up being 2. Or this is going to be a 1 and a 2, and then it goes bullish to give this 5 waves its other 5 waves. This is a beautiful V-shaped recovery. Okay. Hope that made sense. So right now, this is your invalidation point. And to me, it looks like it's pulling back for a potential wave 2. All right. AER GO KRW. Another one of those spiky ones. Yeah. So if you're going to try to make something a diagonal, if you're going to go through a wick like this, if you have a asset that has these big spikes up, into the air, or the big spikes down, you either have to use candle closes. All candle closes are use all wicks. So to pull this down, it's not, I can't make a diagonal out of it, which tells me that off this low here, this was corrective. Let's see. So 3, okay, because it's corrective. All right, so this looks like 3, 3, 5. But then I can't do anything with this, okay? So we've got 3, 3, or yeah, 3, 3. This here is just a bunch of more mess, which means this leg here is coming to the downside for a partner. That's what it looks like to me. This is a tough one here. Yeah, this is a hard one. I wouldn't want to trade this. But it's all corrective, okay? There's not a lot of structure here. And so I don't think I would touch this until it got back up over this resistance right here. I would want to see it flip that to support, and then I would be, interested in buying into it or trading it. I mean, these spikes into the air here, they're, not something that, I mean, you can predict them, of course, because, you get a leg, anytime you get a three-way pullback, that is telling you no matter what that leg is, you're going to get a partner leg. Okay? Even right here, you get a leg, If you get a three-wave pullback, well, you're getting a partner leg, no matter what. So, yeah, I mean, this is a tough one, but there's no real structure, no real count to it. Sorry about that, Mohammed. Check QNT micro. I don't know if I did or not. Oh, yes, I did. So basically, what, on the very low time frame here, okay, this, what you would be looking for right now, okay, if you were trading even the 1 hour here. So I think that's what you mean, or do you mean the 4 hour? I'll do the 4 hour first because I'm not sure which one. So if you were trading the 4 hour, this is the fourth wave territory that if you're looking for more upside, you don't want to break. Okay? So if this is a 3 and this is a 4, and you want more upside, you can't come underneath here. And this looks like 1, 2, 3, like it's in another fourth, okay? So let's go down to the 1 hour. Right now, you don't want to break this fourth wave territory if this is going to be a fourth and go to the upside for a fifth. So if this is a 1 and a 2, and this is all a 3, and it's pulling back for a 4, it will not, you do not want it to break that prior 4. Stop right underneath it. So if this is 3 waves, then to get a fifth wave, that would be how you would trade it. Okay. Then after it makes its fifth wave here, if it's not done and it's going to make another fourth wave, then it can't break this fourth wave territory. So it would pull back, hold support here, and go up for another fifth. And then at that point, it's done. And then you're looking for a bigger retrace, probably back to here, to retrace this if you want it to be the start of something and not the end of something for a fifth wave of this bigger structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I hope that made sense. I went through it fast, but I think it made sense to you. Cloud Hostel, if you're still here. Yes. So if we were going to go to 29K from here. Oh, 29K from here without dropping? No, we can't. We can't. The highest we can go from here is 24,400 as an A, a B, and a C. That's the highest we can go from here without dropping and breaking these lows. XRP long term. So when you look at XRP, okay, we've got this beautiful impulse wave to the upside. Then we had this pullback. Okay, then we had this choppy move to the upside. Now you could say that this is A, or I'm sorry, W, that this is X, and that all of this is coming down for a Y wave. Okay, and we would definitely want to hold here because look what's under it. Nothingness, insufficiency. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Same deal. We don't want to break. This is where we don't want to break. Ever. Now, this wave here can be interpreted also as an expanding diagonal. Okay, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the only way to make it bullish, is to say it's an expanding diagonal. So what does that mean? Well, it means that this is a 1 and a 2, and this is 1, 2. Same deal. We don't want to break this low. Worst case scenario, these little wicks right here. Because we run the risk of XRP just tanking to here. Same deal, you don't want a 2 to break the bottom of a 1. So whether it's making A or WXY, or this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, well, it's same spot that we don't want to break. So if XRP, what we needed to do is rally up higher to resistance, pull back in a three-wave move and rally even higher, so that this three-wave move can make this three-wave move, and then it can make a higher low, something like that. Because when we get down into here, that's corrective. So if it's going to rally, that's what it needs to do. If it's going to rally, if it's going to roll over, we need it to just, I think it has another hit to the high in it. We need it to just pull back in 3 for a Z wave. Apologies, apologies. That is my kid, my daughter, power calling me. She's at school, so I had to answer. All right, so what I'm saying is, so this is a corrective move, and I'll show you in just a second, which if it's coming down, it's got to come down in 3 for that Z. Okay. Now, what if we break it? Okay. What if it doesn't hold? Well, it'll invalidate that this is a 1. It'll confirm that it is a B or X, and that we're making a bigger three-wave move. That's what it means. Okay, maybe it holds here at that little tick 4th wave there. It could. But it means this, is getting a bigger leg to the downside. I don't want to see that happen, but I want to see it hold. So there's no way to make this a diagonal, okay? It's definitely 3 waves, and 3 waves off the bottom and 3 waves back, okay? Now, some will argue that this is 5. It doesn't matter if it's 3 or 5. What does matter is that this is made 3 waves, 3 waves, and now it's pulling back in a 5-wave move. It will try and hold this higher low, and that is what you want to see. And then it's going to push to the upside, and either one more wave up into this resistance, okay, or it's going to give this leg an equal partner and get up higher. Then at that point, it'll all depend on what it does. Do we get a harsh rejection? Or does it try to make a 3-wave move here and then give all this leg a partner to make an even bigger rally? but it's still going to be a rally, and it's still going to come back to the downside. But if it did that, it would get it up higher so that when this leg comes, it can potentially even make a higher low. Okay, and all this would be a wave 2. Okay, hope that makes sense. All right. Hi, are you still here? If you are, what does W frame mean? I'm not sure what that means. So this is what you always want to see off a bottom. Okay. This is a nice thing to see. Okay, where this is always the area that you want to get back above. You want to push through and flip it to support. That's what this has done. All right, so the only way that this is going to be bullish is if what it's doing is making a 1-2, 1-2. So invalidation right now is this low right here. It's got to stay above it. Oh, wow. So look at this. Like, if it can break $2.15 and like go here, it is going to rip. Yeah. So bullish option, this is a 1-2, 1-2. The bearish option is that this is a fourth wave, but if it cracks that level, it's going to invalidate that it's a fourth wave, and that it's going to come down for a fifth wave, and then at that point, I would expect this to rip to the upside. But it has a really good chance of being a 1-2, 1-2. The monthly sitting on 50. The weekly sitting in bullish support. The 2-day resets in fourth waves. And then it holds bullish support the rest of the time. So you want to see this 2-day get itself up above 40. That will confirm that it's going bullish here. You want to see the daily push above 70 and then pull back into the bullish support and then stay up in that area. But here soon, needs to stay up, but right around here, and then it needs to go. It may play around a little bit more in this wave 2, but this is the invalidation right there. This is a nice coin. All right. Where am I at here? Can you guys hear me? Can somebody let me know? All right, guys, I can do a couple of more. I'm looking through here to see what was requested the most. If you were here from the beginning, okay, if you're in Discord, send me a message and I will definitely do your coin, especially if you've been here since the beginning. If not, you can even send me an email, okay? All right, let's see what's been requested the most. QANX, looks like that was requested 3 times. QNT I did, Blaze, so you can just rewind it. Luna Classic, so I'll do the Luna Classic and the QANX. Dumperoo. That looks awful. Do I have the right one? I hope. Yeah, that is a bad sell-off. That wouldn't look so bad, you know, if it wasn't on the daily. Like if it looked like that, you know, and it wasn't so oh, that's horrible. Because this is was its middle connector, okay? So it's got 3 middle connector, and really what it should have done here is just given it you a slow, you know, 3 like that for the partner leg, but it's had this just capitulation. Which means, okay, that this is an X because it didn't come up high enough, which makes this very bad. Because now we've got a 1, 2. This is obviously going to be 3. When it finally bounces here, it's going to make a 4 and a 5. You can't have, let's see, can I make 5 out of this? Well, good news is that you might be able to squeeze 5 out of here where this could be a zigzag. So best case scenario for this coin is that we call it A, B, C. Okay. Otherwise, it's bad. Because if this is not 5 waves, then it means when this 5 is done, it'll retrace probably all of this, because that's just insufficient. And hopefully the higher the better, then it's going to give another 5. Yeah, that's not good. When did it dump? Today, obviously. Here recently, half an hour ago. I hope that isn't like a premonition for what the rest of the market's going to do. Ooh. Luna Classic, right? If you're in that coin, okay? Because I'm sure that's not what you wanted to hear if you were holding bags of that. Well, you got two choices if you're holding bags of it. Hope that buyers come in, which it looks like they are. Okay. All of this blue is buyers. And there's nothing here stopping this coin from absolutely recovering all the way back up. Because there's nothing down here to stop it. So if enough buyers could come in, it could push it significantly high, back up, you know, pretty high. So you either have to just hold, okay, or when you get some type of three-wave bounce here, okay, when the fourth wave comes in, that's when you de-risk, okay? Never panic sell into a candle that looks like this. Don't do it. Because you haven't lost a thing until you give them the coins back. Yes, it looks like you're losing because the value is going down, but you haven't really lost anything until you hand them over. So I hope that helps. So this is a nice candle to the upside here. So to the downside, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a three-wave move. Now it did take out the prior fourth, but it didn't come into its one, just barely didn't come into it. All right, so what is happening here is if it's the bullish option, okay, this is a wave 1, and it's pulling back for a 2. So obviously invalidation is here. Bullish option, it's going to go bullish for a 3, 4, 5. The not so bullish option is that this leg will get a partner and it'll just be an ABC. But either way, this leg's getting a partner. This is the invalidation. And then this turns into A. This will be B. And then it'll come down for C. It'll try to make a higher low. This coin looks great. More than likely, this is, you know, probably what it's going to do. But this leg is still getting a partner. And, okay, so this is the invalidation at this low. But put logic to it. All underneath from this point, right here down, is an insufficient area. So why would you, so I'm going to do a little teaching thing here. Why would you want to risk 30%? Because if it comes underneath there, it's coming to here and it's going to invalidate. Even though this is the invalidation point, we can totally bring this up and de-risk some of that. Because if it doesn't hold, pretty much where that bottom wick is right there, then it runs the risk of filling this in. $618. My stop would be right underneath that to try to catch this one's partner. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I really thank you for tuning in. Okay. If you've been here since the beginning and I didn't get to your coin, please DM me on Discord. And the coin was hacked, huh, Blaze? Is that what happened to it? Wow. It's a shame. So DM me if you're on Discord with the coin that you requested, and I will chart it for you. And I thank you guys very, very much for sticking it out with me all this time. And I'm going to try to do this every Tuesday. Okay. Now, if you're, one last thing before you guys go, I don't know how many people are still here, 38. If you're looking for live streams, okay, and you don't want to join the Discord, I have memberships on the website, okay? So think about that, because you'll be with less people, you'll get to request more coins, all right? There's a couple of options there. So take a look if you get a chance. All right, you guys have a great day.